Okay. So I mean, the basic building of tracks is relatively simple. You can see why I start with really short ones, just to make sure that they're working the way I intend. Just like with a pump stack, I like to build like a reservoir, maybe a few floors up, make sure I'm not doing something stupid. It's a bummer when you go all the way to the top and you realize you left out one key component and you gotta rebuild the whole thing. I test everything. So I guess that's going to be the goal. I will title this fort in my streams. I will title it Minecart Automation, and that will be the objective here. We've settled it. So have you watched a lot of other Dwarf Fortress streams? The same ones? I know Makia earlier there recognized you. Okay. I've had trouble with finding any that cast during, I guess, the times that I'm looking. So you'll notice that this stockpile is full, and in theory, yeah, should only be taking it from here. Make sure that this is set. Take from links only. Yeah. I'll have to write some of those down. Check this out. What time of day are those people usually on? I've actually watched Loop Canada. Slowest Mason ever. One of the things you could imagine is, like, as soon as you have this set up, you could start filtering what kind of stones go where. You know, you create a series of these 3x3 stockpiles that go to tracks, and they each only take a certain kind from the stockpile that you designate in a huge, like, mining area. And I mean, you can undesignate this and then make it somewhere else when you're done. And it kind of sets your loading zones. It's a way of kind of mass forbidding for anything other than the purposes you intend. Alright, we got doors. What up? Door. Doors are nice because if something goes terribly wrong, they at least try to contain it. Okay, we got a who's my Crown's Dwarf? Zarvish. Z-Y-N. Not farm, sir. Shear, whatever. You are about to be made an engineer. So, so that my masons didn't have to. So for those of you that just joined, what we're doing here is I am showing Brandon Gaming how Minecarts can actually lower the workload of your effectively working dwarfs. You kind of end up with a working class dwarf who I actually disable the hauling on. And the goal of this fork will be to fully automate all of that so that dwarves are living where they work right here. And they will work in their assigned shop. They will pull from a designated stockpile, and they will output to a designated stockpile that will send it on to its way. So the only time they'll need to leave is for eating and drinking, which I still prefer to leave at kind of communal areas to give them that social interaction so that they can enjoy a nice drink with a friend, etc. But it really limits the amount of time that they're not outputting goods. So you can actually maximize the throughput of your output of your fort, allowing you to run with a larger military and still have kind of that same buying power with caravans, still have that same surplus of kind of domestic goods. Engineer, 2 idle. Diggers. Give those guys something to dig. Actually, almost messed that one up. According to you guys, I would have to start over. Okay. This will be my kind of initial mechanic. And his bedroom. If this mason moves any slower, things suspended. There's just no excuse. He's just, oh, I accidentally left it on repeat. Doing his freaking job. Okay, now I should be, yes, getting back to it. Fantastic. Dig out my mechanics first, guys. So has anybody in here figured out how fast a minecart needs to be going to skip across water? Or will that have to be an experiment? would love to know. And I'm getting mixed. I'm finding mixed points of view on whether or not it skips evenly across the water based on weight, and whether or not that's really rideable by a dwarf or if he would fall out. I don't see why he'd fall out. Dwarves can ride minecarts full of lava without getting burned, though if they try to pick them up, they will melt their hands. Makes sense. Obviously there's an insulating riding compartment, but he has to reach right for the heated sides. Beautiful. Okay, we are almost done here, Brandon, with the initial stone. Say that. See how long this guy takes. Once again, always two-directional track. There's no reason not to. They will guide it the direction the track, the stop tells them to, so it's not really a problem. And it keeps them from getting stuck should they have cart that's too heavy. Mudstone. Mudstone. Nice thing about being able to designate over the tops of ramps is that you don't have to sit there and do it floor by floor and worry about them not being able to use the ramps before it gets built. As opposed to when I first saw these, I thought that maybe you had to... I didn't know exactly how that would behave. North and east, mudstone, beautiful. And once he finishes that, I do need to put a track stop in here that does not dump as highest friction. Make me cages. See if we can't capture some goblins. Maybe get a silk farm up. Okay, dump direction south. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to set stone here. And just in case it's empty, we're going to say that it only takes from links, and we're not going to link it to anything. Okay, so it will only take stone from whatever dumps on it out of that dump site, because it only knows how to take it from linked stockpiles, and it's not linked to any stockpiles. Okay, and then what we'll do is once it has stone in it, we'll say give to a pile workshop. We'll set it to this crafts dwarf shop, and that means that should this run out of stone, that crafts dwarf shop will automatically suspend what it's doing and wait for more stone of that type. Now the reason this becomes really effective is what you can do is you can actually build like an isolated second set of workshops powered off of these, and you can ship through these same kind of filtering that you do down here all your fire safe materials off to separate